So for those who are familiar with the teaching landscape in China, you'd come across these two words. And these two words are really important and crucial because they are like the two guard doors that determine which particular room you go into in China. Sort of like a heaven and hell gate kind of thing. So these two words are native English speaker and non-native English speaker. If you're looking for a job, these two things would determine to a large extent or to a large degree the kind of job you find. Let's take it from the top. Before even going further, I'm going to explain what this non-native native speaker thing is. So basically, or essentially, what it means is that if you're considered a native English speaker, you're from countries like US, UK, you're from Australia, Canada, New Zealand, South Africa, and there's one more, I think Finland or so. 7 English-speaking countries. And today I'm not going to talk about native English speakers. I'll put that box right here. We'll talk about that someday. Today, I want to dive deeply into some of the issues or problems that those labeled non-native speakers actually go through when they come to China to teach English. I am going to talk about 3 things. And alongside, I'm going to give my suggestions on what you can do when it comes to these things. And it's not to say those considered non-native don't necessarily speak English in their country, but they're not recognized officially as native English speakers in China. So I'll take something like Ghana. The official language for Ghana is English. We were raised right from our childhood with English. All the schools I attended were taught in English. Technically, I'm a native speaker by definition. When I come to China to find a job, I will be considered as a non-native speaker. Now, here's the catch. The catch is that non-native English speakers can still find a job. But then here are some of the challenges that they go through, and I'm going to talk about 3 of them. Number 1, opportunities. So the first problem that is plaguing people who are considered non-native speakers is opportunities. Lack of opportunities. And even when you get an opportunity, it's an opportunity that lies in a remote area, a place that is not as good as, say, tier 1 cities. So there are cities like Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, Guangzhou, which are top tier cities in China. And these cities obviously have better opportunities. Like there's going to be higher salary, the environment is going to be better. But then you cannot get in because there are rules and checks that actually prevent you from getting it. I know because I've tried. And I never got in once. Well, there are lack of opportunities for sure, but then there still are some opportunities because not all the schools can afford a native English speaker in quotes. So some of the schools opt for a non-native English speaker who they will pay less to do the job. Now, the catch to that is that those jobs obviously are in remote areas. And they're not easy to find. Because there aren't many of those jobs, if you're outside of China, it's going to be more difficult for you to get a job. The best option or the best thing you can do is to find a way to get yourself into China first. And maybe, perhaps, if you live in a community or closer to a community where they need a teacher like that, you would be the best choice. So what you can do is sometimes there are scholarship opportunities that you can use to come to China, maybe do a 1-year course, do a 2-year course, and after that, here lies the opportunity in that neighborhood. But then the problem is you're not very sure if there's going to be one. The second problem, which is closely tied to the first one, is salary. Obviously, Beijing is going to pay higher than a city that is a tier 3 city. Most of the jobs that go to non-native speakers are in tier 3 and low tier 2 cities. Obviously, the economic power in those places is very low. So for instance, in a place like Shenzhen, where you're going to have a salary of 25 to 35,000 RMB, in a tier 3 city, you're looking at about 8K. That is one of the biggest problems that comes with low-level opportunities that lie in remote cities. Your starting salary is usually low. It's like 8K, 10K, 12K. Max, if you're good, you're lucky, you're going to get like 15K. The solution to low-level income in these remote areas is to do the work for some time. So you do the work for some time, you gain credibility, and hopefully they increase your salary. For instance, first year you make 8K, second year you could make like 10K. Third year, you could probably get close to 12 to 15K. Either that or the third problem might lead to a solution for you. So let's talk about the third problem. Problem number 3 is the volume of work that you have to deal with as a non-native ESL teacher. If you teach in remote areas, usually they do not have the budget to hire a lot of teachers. So sometimes the work that 2 or 3 ESL teachers are supposed to do is all going to be on you, the one ESL teacher they have. I remember there was a time I used to get in at 8 o'clock. My first lesson was at 8:05. And then I have to teach all the way, sometimes until 6, 6:30, 6:45 p.m. And I only get 1 hour break in between. Don't get me wrong, it's not even that I'm blaming the school. These lessons have to be taught, but then they cannot afford another teacher. So all that work has to be given to the one ESL teacher they have. Sometimes the benefit to that is that you get a better salary because you're doing more work. Sometimes the salary can be bumped up by a percentage, but then it is still a lot of work and eventually it will take a toll on you physically. Now, the solution to loss of work is you either stay or you leave. That is the only solution. Let's go over these 3 problems again. Number 1 is opportunities. There are lack of opportunities, but then you can still get it. So get yourself into China first, find a place where there might be opportunities. Number 2 is low level income. Well, you might have to do a lot of work or just stay for a while and your salary might increase. Number 3 is loads of work, which, let's be honest, there isn't really a solution for that one.